comedy stage. Spike Lee is the director, so we filmed that back in May. And tomorrow we have our debut on HBO at 9 o'clock. So very excited about that.
Very nice.
That's very nice.
So
lots going on. How about you, Andrew?
Oy vey.
Oy vey.
I tell you, I got a haircut yesterday, and I just
did.
feel verklempt.
That
It's crazy.
That might be the pound that you lost this week.
Oh, yeah. Also, the facial hair is gone, and some other hair I don't feel like I should share.
Yeah.
It's gone, too. So I shaved off all my hair so I could weigh in. I feel that's what boxers do. And Ray could tell us
yes,
this.
Absolutely. They use everything that they could that is within legal from the athletic commissions.
They shave their heads.
Yes, they shave their heads. They,
lose all that water.
Lose all that weight. Yeah, they put salts in a bathtub and try to suck out all the moisture.
That's crazy.
That way they can go and make the weight and actually fight tonight. So
really?
Very busy out in lovely Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Who's fighting tonight?
There's a lot of up-and-comers that are making their way. And then next week, though, and this is shameless self-promotion.
Yes.
Fox Sports 1 on Friday night, I'll be outside of Sacramento, California for a big night of boxing. So,
ooh, that'll be nice.
Looking forward to that on Fox Sports 1 across your cable networks.
Have you been to California before?
I love California.
Oh,
big
okay.
fan of, I love the Palm Springs area. Sacramento's a fun town, too. So, anywhere where there's palm trees, sign me up.
Yeah.
With the exception of Jacksonville. So.
I like Monterey. Monterey Bay is my favorite place in Cali.
I've never been to Cali.
And then Florida, pretty much all the beach, all the way down to Miami. That's my favorite.
That's why he's trying to get in shape. Trying to go down to the beach in Miami and flex. And
I got to get that beach bud.
It's not going to be eating donuts.
I'm sexy and I know it.
Which you can blame Ray for. He bought the donuts.
Yeah, Ray bought the donuts. He is promoting diabetes.
I mean, not that I'm promoting diabetes. I am promoting quality effort. And this is shameless, pay for play. But if you work hard in class, you get donuts and sugar.
See?
And lo and behold, I was running all over the place.
Now I got the sugar foots.
I wanted to knock you out. He was driving me insane.
I had like 6 donuts yesterday, and I was like on a
bouncing off the walls.
Extreme sugar high. I was like, ah! Let's get into it, Nikki. Let's just dive.
All right.
Let's do this. We're a new show.
Nikki News.
Nikki News time.
We have another wonderful teacher in Arizona who came to class drunk.
I feel like every other week we're talking about a teacher that's either naked or wasted.
Well, she was drunk and then continued to drink in class.
She's very determined.
She had vodka, a Sunny D, and like a little bottle of something as well. And she was just making cocktails while she's teaching.
Sunny D's interesting. Like, I've had a screwdriver before, but I've never tried a screwdriver with Sunny D.
Ugh, Sunny D's nasty.
Sounds delicious.
It's gross.
Too much sugar.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Woman confesses to filming a porno in church after a tipster recognizes her breasts.
Well, at least they have a reason to say, oh, God, oh, God.
My goodness.
Zing!
A porno in church? Who does that?
Well, what's more awkward is the next part of that story. You said the pastor knew who it was.
Yeah.
When he watched it, he knew exactly who she was.
It's a little disturbing.
That is disturbing. What's going on in that church?
Yeah. That's all I have for news because I know what we're going to get into, so I didn't want to waste much time.
Oh, so you're just going straight to me.
Yeah, we're just going to let's do this.
We're diving into it today.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yep.
For the news. Hello?
It's usually how it is when you give your news.
This news is not boring, I tell you.
It's not.
So, Ferguson, Missouri. Michael Brown was shot down by a police officer unarmed. I guess the thing he did wrong was walking down the middle of the street. Police officer asked him to walk on the bleeping sidewalk, and when he did not comply, police officer pulled up, grabbed him, and tried to pull him into the car.
Okay.
And then there's some debate on whether the first shot was taken from the car or outside the car. But that's not the point. The point is that after the first shot was fired, Brown ran away and was shot 3 more times in the back, raised his hands as to say, hey, I'm unarmed.
Right.
Turned around, faced the officer, and the officer shot him 6 more times. So that's 10 shots.
And for what, walking in the street?
For walking in the street. It's not crosswalking. You're walking in the middle of the street. So
Right.
Can't really arrest him for that.
No. You mean jaywalking?
Jaywalking, yes. Correct. And not the jaywalking from Leno.
Right.
So after that, of course, the community was outraged because the police didn't question any of the witnesses.
Oh, this is the 18-year-old, correct?
The 18-year-old Michael
Right,
Brown.
okay.
The police didn't question any witnesses whatsoever. And the community got very upset with this. And it didn't seem like the police were going to investigate this at all.
Okay.
And so there was peaceful protests. Now we're having a discussion here. This is no longer news. We're having a discussion.
Yes.
The police were in full tactical gear. They had Humvees. They had tanks. Is that necessary to be protecting and serving your community who is having a peaceful protest? Or does that heighten what's going on there, and does that cause the looting? Does that cause the unrest that the community feels? Or is it just the community being crazy and looting and burning places down the ground?
Well, you and I discussed this off air
Yes.
for about an hour.
I'm fired up about it.
I know
it
you are.
ticks me off.
And you and I agreed on almost every aspect of it except for I don't care that they were all tacticaled up. It doesn't bother me.
They had Kevlar helmets on. They had their flak vests. Don't have an issue with them wearing bulletproof armor. That's
Of course
fine.
not.
But the assault rifles
Sure.
with bullet round
We
or
agreed on
rubber
that,
bullets, why do they have assault rifles?
You want them to have a little tiny shield like Captain America and a piece of wood.
If you're to serve and protect the community that if you're to serve and protect the community, do you do it with a closed fist or an open hand?
That depends.
It doesn't depend on anything because
Sure it
you're not
does.
militarized. You're not the army. You are police. You are to protect and serve the community, not start a race riot.
Right, but if you have a mob, or I'm sorry, you said a peaceful mob.
It wasn't a mob.
Whatever the case may
There's
be.
outside sources that did come down and were not part of the peaceful that were looting and stuff. They were
Right.
not part of the peaceful protest, but everybody suffered from this.
Of course.
It wasn't just the looters.
I didn't say it was.
But the police came ready for an all-out war. You can see it from the pictures.
Right.
You could look at side-by-side pictures of Gaza Strip in St. Louis, who had a no-fly zone that night. Why did that happen? Why are they militarily ready in this area like it's war when they're just U.S. civilians?
Because you know how quick peaceful can go into not so peaceful? If they're protesting because an 18-year-old kid hasn't had justice yet, and you look a whole group of people in the eye and say, oh, well, we're investigating, even though you're not, you're going to piss them off twice as much as they're already pissed for not investigating this 18-year-old's death.
But they wouldn't. At least you're telling them you are investigating. I mean, politics, the politicians lie to us all the time. If we knew they were lying, like Obama saying he's going to close Guantanamo, do you think he would have been voted in? Obama said he's going to pull him out of Iraq. Well, that was already decided by George W. Bush. He signed it before he left office in 2008.
Right.
If you knew that Obama was going to lie to you, just like the police officers lied to you, you wouldn't have voted him or trusted him. That just diffuses the situation. That's why you tell them there's going to be an investigation. They closed off everything. It was pretty much us versus them right away. Why was that the case when you're supposed to protect and serve these people?
That's what they're doing. They're protecting and serving the rest of the people in the area.
By
If
shooting
this-
rubber bullets and gassing everyone, even the people not looting the stores.
Well, I didn't say I agreed with that. I agree with them being ready to go. I don't agree with them already doing stuff that they don't need to. But there's nothing wrong with you being prepared for something to go wrong instead of just being out there in the middle of nowhere or in the open getting your butt kicked by an angry mob because they know you're lying. Not everybody voted for Obama because not everybody believed Obama. So you think everyone in that group is going to believe that they're going to investigate? Because they said they
I
will?
believed it would have diffused the situation a little bit more. It would have been a little bit more rest, Instead of a fist, you would have had an open hand saying, yes, we are looking into this. But it was a fist. Sniper rifles, tanks, Humvees, and tactically geared police all staring down this peaceful protest. And this is what the president had to say.
Of course, it's important to remember how this started. We lost a young man, Michael Brown, in heartbreaking and tragic circumstances. He was 18 years old, and when something like this happens, the local authorities, including the police, have a responsibility to be open and transparent about how they are investigating that death and how they are protecting the people in their communities. There is never an excuse for violence against police or for those who would use this tragedy as a cover for vandalism or looting. There's also no excuse for police to use excessive force against peaceful protests or to throw protesters in jail for lawfully exercising their First Amendment rights. And here in the United States of America, police should not be bullying or arresting journalists who are just trying to do their jobs and report to the American people on what they see on the ground. Put simply, we all need to hold ourselves to a high standard, particularly those of us in positions of authority.
Now, Ray, you have some stories about what was going on, not just with the civilians, but with actual reporters.
Yes.
That were on the ground trying to report this.
So there was a reporter, too, I believe, from the Washington Post and the LA Times. They're at the McDonald's that was in Ferguson, out in St. Louis, in the St. Louis area. And pretty much what occurred is they were taking video and they were taking photo of what was transpiring with the police officers who swarmed the McDonald's, who were pointing the guns at people and telling people to get out of what was transpiring and to leave the McDonald's immediately. And one of the reporters was videotaping the officer or the SWAT team member, whatever you want to call them, told them that they had to stop and they needed to leave the McDonald's within 45 seconds. He went from 45 seconds to 30, and as he was getting ready to leave, pushed the journalist, shoved his face against the glass, and then threatened to arrest him and put him in handcuffs. Also, during the course of this story, as I was enthralled by it for a lot of reasons, and as I was reading, they were telling journalists for 3 days, 3 nights, that they have to leave. It was like, I think, 10 or 11 o'clock Central Time, and they were telling the journalists, you have to leave. Now, wait a minute. They never told, I don't ever remember in history where journalists are told you have to leave the area. Now, if they tell you you should leave this area for your well-being, fine, but that's not the case. These journalists knew what they were getting themselves into, but you're telling them to leave. Why are you telling them to leave? Because you have something to hide, and you want to go full and do whatever you want. This country has been terrific because there is a checks and balances system.
It's the First Amendment.
It's the First Amendment. And when you have these quote-unquote robo-cops that are running around with armored vehicles and armored tanks, which don't even rival what they had in Iraq or Afghanistan, in a community where they did not have mass killings. Okay, there was a couple of looting of stores. They maybe burned down a building, but that was it. No one else was killed. There was no police brutality, and you want to treat these people like animals and have a police state? This is a bigger picture issue because if this happened in Ferguson, not even in St. Louis, what could the Chicago PD do? What could the NYPD do? What can the LAPD do? I'm not talking about civil war here, that we should rise up and overthrow the government, but this is a major issue and needs to be looked at because as citizens, if you get pulled over by a police officer and you did nothing wrong, what's to say that they are going to take your word over theirs?
Right.
If you have no witnesses, or even if you do, you mean to tell me that our judicial system right now will protect you over a police officer?
Oh,
this needs to be addressed like yesterday. And it was sickening to me that the governor of Missouri took a long time, was more worried about eating pies instead of getting himself to Ferguson to address this issue. And yes, President Obama made a statement. However, and listen, I'm neither here nor there political. Whatever you want to pick politically, great. It is your First Amendment, which was violated. But wrapping up my point here, it took President Obama till the day after Robin Williams passed away, and no offense to Robin Williams, a very iconic comedic genius and actor, but 3 hours of Robin Williams passing away, he made his statement. But yet it took the president over a day later to make an issue or address a statement in regards to Ferguson. When Ferguson was going on 2 days before Robin Williams passed away, there are major issues here, and people need to be held responsible and accountable. And listen, I'm not about violence, but this is a major issue, and it scares me big time.
The Patriot Act in 2001, after 9/11, oh, that day.
Yeah.
The day that the Republicans love to use for their agendas, they pretty much put in state that they militarized our police. Our police didn't have tactical gear. They didn't have tanks. They didn't have Humvees. Mm-hmm. But after 2001, they militarized our police force. Okay, that's why they have all this tactical, high-tech stuff that in 2001 in Iraq, the Army was like asking, can we armor our Humvees? They were soft top. They weren't even metal. They're just a fabric-like substance. Bullets go right through them. It's like butter.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So why do the police have better equipment than our military?
I wish I could tell you. Because they shouldn't.
I don't understand that either. And to go off of what Ray said, yes, the First Amendment was breached. Hardcore. And even more so because Al Jazeera reported being shot at with rubber bullets. And it's not like they had a small camera and they're reporting off to the side. They had two big cameras, lights on the cameras, and they got shot at with rubber bullets. This area was in a police state. It was a militarized state. And I don't understand. I cannot tell you why. Some of the police say they were getting shot back at by some of the looters and stuff like that, but that's hearsay. The police already look so bad in this. They look horrible. And what's your... I can't even... It's beyond words to me. And if you want things to change, you gotta... Get up off of that thing! And vote! You have a say. 67% of the people that live in the Ferguson County are African American. You have a voice. Go vote. You don't have to have that loser mayor. In fact, if you voted for governor, you can be in charge of that too. You have the numbers to make a difference. Vote. You can vote in who's the sheriff or the chief of the police. That's by the people for the people. Go out and vote. Get off that thing.
A lot of people would rather complain than fix stuff.
Complaints don't do anything.
No, they don't. But it's fact.
And instead of running to Twitter, why don't you call a congressman? Right?
Oh, no, that's too tough.
No, every congressman's phone number is on the internet. So instead of going on Twitter, why don't you go call a congressman or something? I don't understand.
I agree.
If you're willing to complain, walk in the streets, get shot at, why aren't you willing to go to a voting booth and vote?
Many people believe that doesn't make a difference, though.
The reason is because people that are good and in politics get beaten by the people that are bad because the people that are bad have knowledge. Right. Now, let me tell you, I'm not talking about book smarts. I'm not talking about education. I'm talking about the knowledge to manipulate, the knowledge to lie, and the knowledge to pay off the right people or get paid off by the right people.
Right. That's why
every
people don't
politician at some point when they get popular gets approached by, I like to call Satan, but we'll call it oil, guns, and whatever else companies have an agenda. They get approached by them and they crumble at the sight of, okay, I can line my pockets with a lot of money and take care of my family, or I could take care of the people that I was voted by, for the people, by the people. This is the Republic. This is the United States. I represent more than myself. More than myself. But it's America. I mean, you're in it to win, baby.
That's why people don't vote. It doesn't really matter.
I think there's
good people. It
just
matters who you're in bed with.
There's good people out there, and I feel like they're just scared because they're going to get beat by the bad guys, but you need to... and speak.
Well, get into your point in kind of parlaying that from James Brown, who you went ahead and get up off that thing. But we are all, as James Brown so eloquently put it,
Yes.
living in America.
Yeah.
So we need not just Ferguson. This is a bigger issue when it comes to our entire country.
Huge.
So what happens when there's Ferguson Part 2, let's say in Texas?
That was Part 2. Trayvon Martin was Part 1.
But it wasn't as bad when it comes to what we saw.
True.
What Ferguson
True. There's
has
no
done,
witnesses. That's why.
This is a big issue, and this is an issue that citizens here in Chicago, whether you be in urban city, whether you be rural and have farms and have a neighbor 10 miles away, we all have to find out and check into and have a checks and balances, because before it wouldn't be so much as we wouldn't check the police, because our thought process is this is law enforcement. We need to obey and follow what they have to say. Those days, ladies and gentlemen, are over with. Mm-hmm. Ferguson proved that to us. I'm not saying for you to disobey the law. You should obey the law. But the same way we check our politicians, the same way the Senate and the House of Representatives check the president, etc., we as citizens need to look into what is taking place with our local law enforcement officials, so that, let's say, one of your family members, if they are in that same situation, are protected, and you know that we have done everything in our power to make sure that the police is on the up and up, because we see it in foreign countries, and we kind of, as we were when little kids, put our two hands on our ears and say, not happening here. Mm-hmm. It happens in Mexico. It happens overseas. Well, it's happening here, and you need to look into your local law enforcement officials. And, Andrew, as you talked about, write to your congressman, because if this happens again, it can happen again and again and again, and we may not just have one death on our hands. We may have 100 or 200, and guess who's going to care? Just the families, because it will continue, because we have no voice when it comes to local law enforcement. It starts right now.
Completely agree.
Here's what Steve King had to say about you'll hear it.
Apparently concerned about, quote, racial profiling in Ferguson, Missouri. Does this help within the investigation, or does this suddenly become a political football in the hands of the Congressional Black Caucus?
This idea of no racial profiling, I've seen the video. It looks to me like you don't need to bother with that particular factor, because they're all appear to be of a single origin, I should say, a continental origin might be the way to phrase that.
A single origin. A single origin.
A single origin.
That's what stands out. He says, there doesn't appear to be profiling, but they're from a single origin. So what you're doing is you're profiling them.
Yes.
The thing you said you were doing, the essence of what this moron, this buffoon, this political puppet was saying is exactly that. He's contradicting himself.
That's what I'm trying to say. Hello, folks. We're having a very fiery debate.
Here we
Lovely,
are. I'm
lovely
on this
group.
debate.
Look at this. This is a great family. See, this is what America needs to be.
Yes.
And I wish we could put this on Instagram. This is what a great family is. Not what we're seeing. And these younger individuals need to understand that they're going to be protected by the police and not persecuted.
Or racially profiled, which is an issue. Let's go on. I'm hypothesizing. If Cliven Bundy was the guy, the rancher, had guns, he had a whole militia pointing guns at FBI. Okay? He said, I do not recognize the country of the United States because of the president, who the president is, pretty much. Let's say racial profiling. What if an American Arab, American Muslim said that? You'd call him a terrorist, right? Most people would call him a terrorist. I do not recognize the United States. If it was a black person that said that, he'd be a gangster or somebody you'd look down on. But Cliven Bundy said this. I do not recognize the United States, and he had all this militia backing him with all these people with guns pointed at federal agents. Weapons pointed at federal agents willing to put, they said it themselves, they're willing to put women and children on the front line.
They did say
so
that.
if the federal officers started shooting, there you go. There'd be a huge issue. There'd be an outcry by the United States. This is horrible. They're shooting children and women. If it was not a white militia, but an African-American militia, would the FBI have turned around and gone away and gone on their merry way? Or would there be tear gas and rubber bullets and another massacre to be talked about before this one even happened? Now, Nikki shakes her head because she doesn't want to think in the what-ifs.
I'm not saying I don't want to think in the what-ifs, but you're making a whole scenario that didn't even happen. You can't blatantly say they would kill them all. You think they're just going to kill the women and children
I didn't say
because they're
kill. I
African-American?
said rubber bullets and tear gas.
Same diff.
It's the same. It's what's happening.
You could get killed
it's
by a
what's
rubber
happening in St. Louis right now. There's women and children in the group that's protesting right now, and they're still getting shot. They're still getting tear gassed. And there's no difference between Cliven Bundy, even though he was illegally on governmental land with his cattle. There's no difference between Cliven Bundy and what's going on in St. Louis.
You asked me my opinion, and I gave it to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your opinion.
But Andrew, the difference is this. Go back to high school. If you think of the general, a typical high school, and you have the jock that wants to bully somebody, someone that isn't as strong, that doesn't have the same self-confidence as they do. So you look at the police that are going on in Ferguson. They know that these people are peaceful, that they don't want to have any issues. And what are they doing? They are bullying them. When you come to the Bundy case, they had rifles. They were calculated. They were ready for quote-unquote war.
All-out
what
battle.
happened? They couldn't, as the high school jock, bully somebody else because it wasn't going to be allowed. And if the police or the FBI wanted to show their bravado, then guess what? They would have had a scrap on their hands. Whereas what's going on in Ferguson, these people know that they don't want to be persecuted. They don't want to go to jail. They're standing up for a great cause, but they are being bullied. And that's the difference, is when it came to Bundy, he right away, right or wrong, said, come at me, bro. I'm ready for war. And the people in St. Louis are being bullied. So it's our country, our law enforcement, that didn't want to take the risk when it came to the Bundy case. And here they're putting on their high school letterman varsity jacket, bullying around someone that doesn't have the same strength as they do in Ferguson.
You know what drives me crazy is that people like Hannity, people like Steve King, the ass we just listened to, they backed a person that said they do not believe that the United States of America is their government. They backed him. They said he's a patriot. How are you a patriot if you just said that you don't recognize them as your country, and yet he rides on a horse with an American flag? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. How would conservatives back an ass like that, but they can't jump on board with equal rights, civil rights, just decent humanity? Why, if you're supposed to be the Christian agenda in this country, where the hell are you? What the hell are you thinking? What are you doing to make this better other than sitting on your hands and not doing anything in Congress except for Benghazi this and Obamacare that? How does that help anything? I don't know.
Well, guys, even whether you be liberal or conservative or independent, we all need those entities in Congress.
We need bipartisan.
We need bipartisan. So this is a human rights issue. This is an issue that will directly affect your family. And honestly, I am many moons away from having children down the line. I am in no way, shape, or form ready for that. But it scares me that if I decide, if down the line, if I have children of my own, it scares me that they may be subject to this. Because this is something that we saw in the 1960s and we read in quote-unquote history books. And now history is repeating itself. And isn't that the reason why we learn history in school is to not replicate history? Well, fast forward to 2014. This is not 1964. This isn't 74. This is 2014. And it's still happening. There needs to be a stand, because if not, we're in a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble. And I'm going to my final point.
Get up off of that thing!
You need to vote the people out that are willing to do nothing.
Agreed.
I don't care if they're Democratic, Republican, Independent. You need to get them out. We need to be able to function as a government and as a people. We can't just sit on our hands. This can't happen. We can't just sit on our hands when injustices are being done in this country. I feel like America as a concept is the greatest concept ever made. But how can we root and cheer and be like, we're the best concept when we haven't came to the actual being awesome part? Not since the greatest generation was working. Not since World War II, when our greatest generation did awesome, amazing things. Not because we had to, but because it was the right thing to do. That's the last thing I'm going to say. We're going to go to a commercial break. It's been kind of hot and heavy in here.
If you're looking for someone to capture those special moments, call AG Photography. They specialize in weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, graduation, senior photos, and special events. Call 630-956-8649. AG Photography, freezing those special moments in time so you can cherish them forever.
Get up off of that thing! TheEdgeOnAir.com, ICB Lombard's unsigned music station. TheEdgeOnAir.com.
All right, it's been real, maybe a little bit too real. Nikki's going cross-eyed.
A little bit.
She's like, "What the heck is going on?"
I'm not a very political person.
Yeah,
neither am I.
We all.
But-
You guys drew me out of it, but this strikes a chord here.
Fired up.
I have opinions, but Andrew and I don't see eye to eye on that.
Well, my main opinion is that America needs to
Get up off of that thing!
and vote or do something.
I'm
Go
gonna
and
shove
volunteer.
that up your keister if you play that one more time.
Well, you know what? I
Killing
think you
me.
need to go back to the James Brown vault and put that, even though we are having these issues, living in America is the greatest country in the world still.
in
We're going to go
America.
ahead and play that beautiful scene from Rocky IV before
That's
Apollo
right.
passes away. That's another topic for another day. I'm still
Yes.
recovering from that.
Let me just.
Get up off of that thing!
And I'm done. That's the last one, I promise. But now it's time for.
And now it's time for Pop News with Nikki
Let's spread that out. Such a turd swirl.
and Freeman.
It makes it very entertaining, even though I don't give a crap about what they're talking about. All right, hit me with some pop news. Cheer me up.
So
I
was
want to laugh
looking
at dumb people for a while.
Stop talking.
My bad.
I was looking at pictures of celebrities before they had their teeth fixed.
Of course.
Now, I'm going to put this in the video, obviously, but I'll
Yes.
pass it to you guys. It may be fake, it may not be, but look at Tom Cruise's teeth.
I don't believe it for a second.
It can't be Tom Cruise's teeth.
It can't be.
You never know. I don't
Yes,
remember
yes.
what he looked like, but either
Punch in
way,
the face doing,
that is a
Never.
funny picture. I love it.
It is sad. You know whose teeth were messed up was Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Before he became famous, he had the scuzziest,
Ben
dirtiest
Affleck
looking
were
teeth.
too. Ben Affleck had like spaces in between all of his
Will
teeth.
Ferrell still has a bottom row issue, just
Yeah.
all crooked.
They're all.
I think that just makes him funnier.
I have a tooth issue.
Alex Poland has a
Hate my
beautiful
teeth.
set of teeth, though.
He does.
Yeah.
Ooh. Now, don't get in the hot tub with Arian Foster because he'll pee on you.
Oh, that's the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
back.
His teammates have straight up said if
Oh
you
my
try to
goodness.
get in the hot tub with him, he will pee on you.
Is he 3 or 4? My goodness.
Is he R. Kelly? I don't know.
Exactly.
Are they friends?
I'm gonna pee on you.
They
I don't know,
probably
but
are.
that's
I'm sure
disgusting.
He's an
That's
admirer of what he does on the football field.
Boop, boop, boop. Yeah.
hopefully he's not peeing on anybody on the sidelines.
This is a sad story.
Now the boxing, which you
Yes.
probably know about this.
Yes.
I can't pronounce any of their names, so can you help me with that?
I will go ahead and
Okay.
give a quick
Synopsis?
synopsis.
Okay.
Vladimir Klitschko, middle bizarre legal fight invited boxer signed Magomed Abdusalamov, who actually suffered permanent brain damage after a matchup with Mike Perez. He is being sued because Abdusalamov's wife is suing them because he claims that they should have been there to stop the fight. However, throughout the course of my 10 years of being involved in boxing and MMA, I know that they tell you throughout the course of weeks leading up to the fight and the day before, and the referee comes in, if I believe that the fight should be stopped, I will stop it, and the corner has every right to stop it. That topic right there, the corner should have stopped the fight several rounds before. However, you never know what's going to happen once a fighter steps into the ring and once they step out of it. We all hope and pray that they're okay, but still, this is something that was unavoidable because the New York State Athletic Commission, which is one of the best commissions in the entire country, did everything in their power to have all necessary medical personnel present. They did their job. The corner should have done theirs. It wasn't his promoter who got him the fight and got him a nice paycheck.
Okay. Because didn't they say his brain started swelling and
yes,
he may not have any functions, really?
He's almost permanently brain dead, and thankfully he's still alive. But the way we look at it, and I'm not even saying that fighting is the same thing as when it comes to our soldiers, but he is a fallen comrade in the world of combat sports.
Yeah.
Right. It's a sad story.
It is very sad. You just hope that wouldn't happen, but
right.
That's
I mean,
part
it
of
does.
the sport.
You're getting hit in the face and in the head, but if you think you should stop a fight, maybe you should.
It's the hurting business. I mean, and it's so true. You never know, and it's scary, but again, it is the truest form of sport, which makes it so beautiful. It is what I like to call beautiful violence.
Right.
And I will get off on my boxing promoter, announcer, soapbox.
No, you're fine.
I love MMA, and that's exactly what it is to me. It's a very skillful sport. It's just more brutal than most sports, and some people can't handle it.
Exactly. What do you have? Do you have any?
I have nothing.
Oh, Andrew.
I made our tribute for the end, and that's it.
You failed.
I kind of failed.
Well, we can do. You want to give them a shot at the game?
Game show? Is it game show time?
Yeah.
From Kick You in Your Crotch, Spit on Your Neck, fantastic Chicago, Illinois, comes Where Did It Happen? With your hosts, Nikki Taylor and Andrew Freeman.
Now, Ray, I'm going to read you 3 headlines.
Okay.
You tell me which one happened here.
Happened in this United
Illinois.
In Illinois.
In Illinois.
in
Oh,
Illinois.
boy. Here we go.
But don't look at my headlines because
promise.
I
I
can't
won't
look away from you.
I won't.
We have camera proof if you do.
Yes.
Grandma puts baby in roasting pan. Guest visit from child services.
That's not funny, but I'm laughing anyway.
Well, she said it was a game they played.
Roasting.
Runaway teen lives undetected at Walmart.
That's happened before.
Alleged burglar caught after beating cop in donut eating contest.
I would say the grandma putting the child in the pan would probably be. That's like a Central Illinois thing.
That's
Ding,
a
ding, 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 ding.
You won.
Hate to say.
How?
And no offense to Central Illinois. I love all Illinois. I love this entire country, but
Now I'll tell you, you win nothing.
Yes.
that's fine.
We
Bye.
will tweet your victory.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
We don't have as many followers as you do, so make sure to retweet
I
it
will certainly
Yeah.
retweet it.
so people can actually see that you won.
I will get
Exactly.
quote-unquote political street cred
Yes.
with
That's
this
right.
venture
You get
onto He
bragging
Shed,
rights.
He Shed.
Yes. We don't have any prizes to give to people.
No.
We're poor.
Not yet. One day we'll have a quarter or two.
Exactly.
Of $1 million each. There we go.
Next is what did we learn today?
What did we learn today?
I learned that America needs to
Knew it. I knew that was not going to be retired.
and vote and do whatever it takes to change our country for the better.
I learned that Ray Flores is very passionate about his opinion with the political situations. going on today.
What did you learn, Ray?
Well, I learned that this is a heck of a show. But you know what? I learned that a couple of days ago when I first gave this a listen, and it whet my appetite. It got the political palate, nice and moist, so to speak. Oh, I dipped it, and now I'm diving head first. I'm going to be listening to this a lot. As I get ready to go on a flight next week, I will have this podcast ready to go so I can listen to all previous 22 episodes.
Yes.
We're on episode 23.
Yes.
And I also learned that, yes, we do have to get up on that thing, but as also James Brown likes to say, we need to get on up and call our political leaders to make sure that what happened in Ferguson never. And I will go to a pro wrestling reference, as I know Alex will go ahead and enjoy, who's outside the studio, ever happen again.
That's right. That was a tribute to the great Chris Jericho.
Yes,
those are some good lessons.
They are.
And you can listen to us on iHeart.com. Just search for He Said /
She Said.
And that's all you really have to put. You don't have to put She Said because it pops up. It's the #1 show for all the He Saids out there.
And
so we can say technically that we're the #1 He Said, She Said show in America on iHeart.com.
And you know what, Andrew, before we get out of here, I also learned that August days, that in 2013, that you guys are graduating. Congratulations.
Thank
For
you
those
very
that don't
much.
know, they are graduating today, and it is a very sad day here at ICB in Lombard to see them go and grow, and we are going to miss you guys running up and down the halls, and I know the entire staff is really going to feel your lack of presence. But what I learned is that August days is such a unique group of individuals in a great class and a diverse class, and I look forward to seeing all of you progressing, whatever you decide to do, and I sincerely hope that He Said, She Said continues to be around for decades to come.
Yes.
And look forward to listening to you guys on national radio, wherever you decide to venture out on. And make sure that it's podcastable so that I can get a laugh.
Of course.
Or tear up or
Of
get
course.
a chuckle on my flights as I hopefully continue to travel all around. So.
Our class
For
was
sure.
so great because we...
Get up off of that thing!
I will never get bored. I'm going to use that for every episode now.
Oh my God! Well, we were one of the biggest classes too.
Yeah.
weren't we?
Yes,
we were.
Absolutely.
It's been great. It's been an honor. Thank you, Illinois Center for Broadcasting. Thank
That's
you
right.
for the EdgeOnAir.com. Thank you for JamsOnAir.com. Thank you,
to
SportsTownChicago.com for having us, for hearing us, and for loving us.
And we will still be here.
Yes, we will
doing
still be
this
here
show.
until we get a job.
Until
and
you
then
make us leave.
we will ditch you as fast as we can because you don't pay us. It's all about money. I don't care what anyone tells you.
Andrew, you're hurting my ears.
Sorry. Very, very robust feelings about money and me being paid because I feel like I'm good enough.
Well, you know what Floyd Mayweather says, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
But being here makes sense, at least until you make those dollars.
That's right. As long as they'll have us.
This week, a great man died.
Yes.
And he's all touched us in some way. I loved him in some of the movies. Aladdin was the first one.
Oh my God, Aladdin was
I mean,
great.
I did see Popeye, of course, but
Oh, yeah.
Aladdin was like, who is that amazing voice behind the genie?
He had a wonderful voice.
And he made me kind of accept myself because like him, I was kind of offbeat. I said random stuff. I was always like, oh, let's look at this and let's look at that and what's over there. So
You still do that.
I appreciate you in every way, and I hope you're smiling down on us. I don't care if you took your life. You're a great human being, and I could just hope that you are in heaven because that's what I believe.
Did
So,
you hear about his poor daughter Zelda?
I did, but I'm not going to even think about it. Those people are the slime of the earth.
They are.
And I could care less about them.
But they do want...
Just talking about them right now gives them more credit than they're even worth.
True. So I'll change it.
Yeah.
They're signing or having a petition go out for everyone to sign to get Robin Williams a character in the game of Zelda
That'd be
because
great.
he loved it so much. So they want his spirit to live on in the game of Zelda.
Alex
so let's
tells
see
us
if we
that-
can get that.
It's been approved.
But it's also Zelda, I read too. Yes, but I read that before the show.
That's awesome.
It's on TMZ. TMZ, go on there, get information about signing the petition, and sign it. Let's get him in this video game.
Yeah, I agree. So he can live forever.
That's right.
which he already is on film. He's in 50 films and stuff like that.
A lot of good ones, too.
Any good memories about Robin?
Well, I mean, how can you not? And I know that I'm going to sound very, not as intelligent, but the Mrs. Doubtfire puts his face in the cake. Hello! I mean, my goodness, that is just iconic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I think all of us, instead of, and I'm all about ALS here, but instead of putting ice water on your body, why don't we go ahead and now that this, with Robin Williams passing away, get a cake, put your face in it, shove your face in it,
Shove your
and
face
then,
in the cake.
if you want, challenge other people for ALS.
So
I say we do another challenge.
Let's do a cake challenge.
Let's do a cake challenge for.
All right.
So here at He Said, She Said, we would like to dedicate this show to Robin Williams.
And we're going to do something that's illegal on air. We're going to have 10 seconds of radio silence. All right, and here's a tribute.
Read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. And medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. To quote from Whitman, "O me, O life of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good amid these, O me, O life?" Answer, that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. The powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?
What's wrong with death, sir? What are we so mortally afraid of? Why can't we treat death with a certain amount of humanity and dignity and decency and, God forbid, maybe even humor? Death is not the enemy, gentlemen. If we're going to fight a disease, let's fight one of the most terrible diseases of all, indifference.
I don't have very much time these days, so I'll make it quick, like my life. You know, as we come to the end of this phase of our life, we find ourselves trying to remember the good times and trying to forget the bad times. And we find ourselves thinking about the future. We start to worry, thinking, what am I going to do? Where am I going to be in 10 years? But I say to you, hey, look at me. Please, don't worry so much. Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish. Think of me. And make your life spectacular. I know I did.
TheEdgeOnAir.com